It's 2026 and there's a lot of new launches coming up. And I have, as usual, some clients who call me and say that they have some funds in their CPF and some cash and they want to invest in new properties, in new launches and see if they can sell it and make some money after 4 years, right? So they are of course speculating. They will buy something and then after 4 years they sell it. If it doesn't make money, they will continue to rent. So, but obviously the game plan is to buy and then sell when it TOP and you exit with a good profit. So the question today is, can I still make money if I buy a 2-bedroom? I use 2-bedroom as an example because 2-bedroom, the pricing tends to be below $2 million. So some of my clients are in that range. So the real question is, should I buy a new launch and then sell it 4 years time, or maybe consider resale? So just for the new launch, I did a quick calculation so I can share with you as well whether it makes sense or not. So we take a 2-bedroom, 600 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. The 1 bath, I'm not too concerned. It's really not a good deal for the 2-bed, 1-bath. I prefer a 2-bed, 2-bath. So 2-bed, 2-bath, 600 square feet. I take $3,000 per square feet as my entry price, because if you look at some of the new launches, whether it's Bayshore or maybe River Modern, it's about that range. Okay, so 3,000. So basically, it's $1.8 million for a 2-bed, 2-bath, 600 square feet. And the outlay in terms of costs, as well as the down payment, tax, and everything, is about $540,000. Right. So 2-bed, 2-bath, $1.8 million, $3,000 per square foot. I'm coming out with $540,000. So is this going to make me money when I sell in 4 years' time? So I only look at 3 scenarios. One scenario where in the 4 years, my growth in asset value is 10%, which means every year grow about 2.5%. So in a normal year, 2.5% is quite normal, right, in terms of asset value growth. Then the second scenario is 16%, which is 4% every year. So if I grow 4% every year. The last scenario is 20%, which means I'm growing 5% every year, right? So to break even, right, you need to do at least 2% or 8%. Break even means the money that you put in, the $540,000 that you put in to buy, when you sell, after minus all the costs, interest, everything in, you walk away with zero, no profit. So the real number is 16%. So if it's around 16%, that means every year 4% growth, then you make some money. So in this scenario, you're making a net profit of $150,000 for a 2-bedroom that you went in. So remember that you put in $540,000 including costs. So that's about 30%, 29.5% return on equity, return on your equity. That means you put in $540,000 and you collect back $150,000 at the end of 4 years. Is that a good profit? I think many people would say no lah. So to make a real chunky profit of, let's say, $221,000, you really need the market to grow 20%, which means in 4 years, that means every year 5%. Of course, when you buy a new launch, if the market is growing at, let's say, 2-3% a year, a new launch, when it TOP, usually there's a premium. So maybe you can touch the 20%. But, so now we agree that we need to see a growth of 20%. So the next time somebody tells you, you can buy this new launch and you can sell it at TOP, ask them the question, this is my benchmark. I say, can I get 20% growth? To get 20% growth, right, there are only 2 things you need to consider. One, the growth in the location that you're buying must show history of potentially 16 to 20% over a 4-year period of time. Some areas don't grow at all. Some areas grow very, very well. So you need to look at the location and the growth in the area. The second point is the unit that you're buying in the condominium that you have chosen, right? The unit that you buy must be average or below average price, because if you're buying a high price within the condominium because your ballot number wasn't strong, you're also a danger of not hitting your 20% target. So this is for my friends. If you're looking to buy a new launch, whether it's Pinery, River Modern, Bayshore, Vela Bay, or Tengah Residences, this is something you have to consider. And I really like to say that for profit, I like to look at 3-bedrooms, compact 3-bedrooms, because those are more functional for families, and families will buy when it TOP. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, a little bit of oversupply, but there's still some potential if the entry price is good. So the last point is entry price. Don't just compare the entry price of the new launch. If somebody told you the new launch entry price today is, let's say, 3,000 PSF, and the resale of a five-year resale unit in the same location is also 3,000 PSF, so it's a good entry price. No. Remember my point. The location must grow in value, must have shown that there is growth in value over the past 4, 5 years, 10 years. If the location doesn't show growth, how are you going to get your 20%? So it's not just the entry price. You have to look at the growth over the past few years in that location. The last point is transaction volume. Some areas you will get 1 or 2 units sold at a good price, but the number of units for sale may be a lot. That means the transaction volumes are not there. That means the demand in volume is not there. So you have to consider very carefully. So if you want to know which one of the 2026 new launches can make you money, call me. I do have some targets. So all the best.